if you say 76 of our Jawans were brutally killed by people who lived in our country, then it should shake you up a lot. It should really affect you and disturb you.
Many of my friends have told me not to venture into particularly Bastar because they said it's going to be way more dangerous.
If we have to make the film, we have to tell the truth. We are not making the film to make few people happy. We are making the film to expose the people.
I think even shots, like I remember we were shooting something in the movie and I thought I did a very good shot and I looked at them and they both were like, but it was very good, but there's still a little Adah. You were you. Can you do it again being Neerja?
76 CRPF Jawans were killed in one ambush in Bastar. And we all know that JNU, one of the most prestigious university, few students celebrated that killing.
I don't think anybody will not be affected, impacted by Shalini Unnikrishna's story. That girl is still there in Afghanistan jail. Gitanjali's parents are still waiting for the justice for their daughter. Nima Matthews still hiding in spite of the fact that she has been raped consecutive 5 days.
So I think people are intelligent enough to not typecast me. But if you're typecasting me in movies that are going to be super hits, you can typecast me.
And you can't even hoist India's flag.
Hi, this is Sheetal Shenoy and you are watching Pinkvilla. I just want to start off by saying that the real heroes of the entertainment industry are the ones who bring out the real stories with utmost conviction, truth and power that will leave you thinking. Joining me in a conversation today, we have the heroes of the Kerala Story who are now gearing up for their next release, Bastar. Let's welcome the one and only Adah Sharma, Sudipto Sen and Vipul Shah. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much.
How are you doing, firstly?
Good.
Very well.
You know, I want to tell you a small story before I start off. So, I went with my entire family to watch the Kerala Story. And movie खत्म होने के बाद there was silence in the entire theater और हम बस बैठे रहे. Usually क्या होता है, credits आते ही लोग उठ के चले जाते हैं, but ऐसा नहीं हुआ केरला स्टोरी में. हम बैठे रहे because it got us thinking about the entire incident, right? And I had the same reaction when I saw the teaser.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's what I wanted to mention.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So firstly, thank you so much, sir, for giving support and producing such kind of movies. क्योंकि बहुत लोग सोचते हैं कि ये काम बहुत रिस्की होता है क्योंकि आपने नमस्ते लंदन, नमस्ते इंग्लैंड जैसी मूवीज़ किए हैं जो फन है, एंटरटेनिंग है, बट जब रियल स्टोरीज़ की बात आती है पीपल हेजिटेट करते हैं कि चले या ना चले. सो मेरा पहला सवाल आपके लिए है कि व्हाट इज़ द काइंड ऑफ रिस्क इन्वॉल्व्ड इन प्रोड्यूसिंग the real stories like Kerala Story and now this movie? So
To be very honest, I never look at the risk factor. When these stories came to me, both the stories were brought by Sudipto Dada. I never even for one moment thought that what will happen. I just thought I have to go and make this film. There is absolutely no way I'm not going to make these films. And after that, you stop thinking about the negatives or the risk that is involved. Many of my friends have told me not to venture into particularly Bastar because they said it's going to be way more dangerous. But I don't think of it that way. I just believe that this story has to be told to the country. Just to give you an example, when he got me the research and when I was going through it, see, we all know that 76 CRPF Jawans were killed in one ambush in Bastar. And we all know that JNU, one of the most prestigious university, few students celebrated that killing. But we don't know so many other things, which I came to know through the research. For example, there was a 4-month-old baby who was hit with an iron rod and killed. There are multiple events of, security forces being killed. There have been attacks when 52 Jawans were killed, 36 Jawans were killed, 10 policemen, 15 days back, 4 Jawans were killed. One police inspector was killed in broad daylight in a market 500 meters away from the cop station. So there is this huge violence which is being inflicted on that entire belt, on those poor people. On top of it, You can't build roads in Bastar. Whenever somebody wants to build a road, government, whatever they try, they are attacked, they are killed. Schools can't be built, hospitals can't be built, mobile network cannot be, installed, potable water cannot be given to their houses, and you can't even hoist India's flag. Now, when you come to know about all of this, and then you come to know that there are some people sitting in the cities who are intellectual, sitting in high positions, sitting maybe in our neighborhood, they are giving them cover fire. They are justifying what is happening in Bastar. And the argument is that Naxalites fight for the poor. How are you fighting for the poor when you're not allowing a school to be built?
Right.
How are you fighting if you're not allowing roads to be built or hospitals to be built? What do you want? Their kids to not learn, live like this for 3, 4, 5 more generations? So and it is shocking that when a group of people sitting in the cities trying to justify this kind of violence and break our country, that to me was very, very shocking. It chilled me to my last bone, and I said, I have to make this film. And after that, it was only one way to go: make a bold, make a honest film and take it to the audience and let people of this country see what is happening in the center of our nation.
Absolutely.
So that was a very organic decision at the end of when I went through the material. I have traveled there. We met people there. We met girls who have converted from Naxalism. Now they are in the fold of cops. I asked them that for 9 years you were a Naxal and you killed people. So what made you change your heart? And they said that, it became untenable what was happening. We could not watch it ourselves. They have turned into devils. And so we had to come back into a normal life, otherwise we would have gone crazy. So when you hear my writer, one of the writers, we three have written the film, me and Dada and Amarnath Jha. Amarnath Jha was a Naxalite himself. And he's got a wealth of knowledge of what all goes inside. So when you hear so much about the whole belt, the kind of violence that is being inflicted on those poor people, and the mothers, they have a rule that every family has to give their one kid to Naxalites, and if you don't give the kid, they'll kill the whole family. So the mother has to live without their own child. Now, when you create this kind of an environment and it goes unanswered for like decades, then somebody has to stand up and say, I'm going to show it to the world. So he got the script to me, and I just thought that, it's as important, if not more, as Kerala Story to make this film and take it to the people.
When you talk about research, I want to ask you, sir, कि जब हम movies ऐसे वाली real story वाली movies देखते हैं, अंदर से एक rage होता है, एक गुस्सा होता है कि ये क्यों हो रहा है और ये कैसे हो रहा है, right? So for you, when you're doing all this research, how do you manage to, draw a thin line between what you actually feel as a human about all of these real stories and what you can show on screen? Because सब कुछ तो नहीं दिखा सकते as a audience point of view.
With Vipul ji as a producer, मेरे लिए ये काम आसान था. Because one thing we decided that we have to speak the truth on face. We are not going to do any kind of balancing work, which we did not do in Kerala Story, and we are not going to do in Bastar. It has to be, the truth has to be spoken on the face, and at the end of the day, we shall be in a position where we can stand by each word being spoken, each scene to be sure which is being shown. We stand by everything. No matter what happened with Kerala Story, we are still stand by with every word spoken. Right. In Bastar, we are still stand by that. But as far as Bastar is concerned, it was easier for me, though it is more violent than Kerala Story, more dangerous than Kerala Story. Kerala Story was more of emotion, human emotion. If a daughter of a house is been lost, then it is, and we Indians are more about our family. But here, it is an imported ideology. Just if we think that 1967 is the beginning of this movement, this violent peasant movement, so-called peasant movement, just 7 years before in China, that revolution happened, and as per all the statistics available, including United Nations, more than 8 million people been killed in China. So the matter of fact is, when in 67 this movement started in India, I was born just a year after, 40 kilometers away from that place where everything started. So I grew up along with the evolution of this movement. So as it traveled from North Bengal to South Bengal to Bihar to Jharkhand and further south down, I had to just follow because my family was involved in this movement, and I had to just follow the movement, how it was going. And post emergency, that is after 1977, the entire movement started, pushing from different point of view, and it got stuck into the central part of India, and that includes Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli, some portion of Yavatmal, Gadchiroli of Maharashtra. So that area that became the epicenter of this movement in India. And when I started going there, I realized that this movement, it became more violent than the ideology. So it was not very difficult to pick up the human stories. You can see the sufferers everywhere. In Chhattisgarh, it is 78 to 80% population is tribal. So the sufferings of them, it's, I can't fathom the fact that how come this brutal human being could be. If you force a child to stand in a position so that he can see her parents are being killed so brutally that, one after they first take out the eyes, then they cut the ear, then they cut arm, and this torture goes on for hours, and at the end they fire the bullet. So these children are being inflicted with this fear psychosis. So it was not very difficult to understand as a filmmaker what I am supposed to do, and that is the way I started. Vipulji is also in the same as a philosophy that if we have to make the film, we have to tell the truth. We are not making the film to make few people happy. Yeah. We are making the film to expose the people who have initiated and taken this into that crescent.
Absolutely. Totally makes sense. Adah, I want to ask you that when you play such complex characters, does it somewhere affect you mentally? Because I know that when actors play these kind of roles, they get into the skin of the character, right? For example, Neerja, Madhavan. So does it affect you mentally somewhere knowing that itne sare jawans were killed and then at JNU, people celebrated that, students celebrated that?
Yes, I think it does, and as an actor, I think it should, because that is your job. If I say it doesn't touch me at all, and I'm not affected by it, I'll just come to set and act a little bit and do my lines and say everything and come back home. I think then it's wrong. There'll be a very plastic performance that comes out because I'm just acting a little bit and coming back. I think if you're doing realistic films, even if I'm doing a fictional thing, I read a lot about what I'm doing and all. So moreover, if you're doing a realistic thing, I want to know everything that happened. Even when we made Keral Story, Sudipto Sen used to send me these really disturbing videos and I used to obsessively watch them all night. Right. Then I'd get these weird dreams about these weird things happening. And but again, I'm fortunate I live in a house with my family and I can go back home. Yeah. But of course it does. It shouldn't just touch you. It should scar you. It should shake you up. As would not just me being an actor, but any other girl, any other person from our country who has patriotism in their hearts, who loves their country. If you say 76 of our Jawans were brutally killed by people who lived in our country, then it should shake you up a lot. It should really affect you and disturb you. And I would let it affect and disturb me, because then I think it will just be, in my performance, I'd be able to get some realism in it.
When I saw the teaser, the first question that came to my mind was, it is a little different from what you've played in the Kerala Story. Of course, the power is the same, the confidence and everything is the same, but the story is entirely different, right? So what is the kind of prep that went behind playing the role of Neerja Madhavan?
So for Kerala Story, again, I'm not Shalini Unnikrishnan. Neither am I Neerja Madhavan. But for Shalini Unnikrishnan, I could identify a little because I can identify a girl staying with her parents and her family.
emotions.
We've all had friends. Emotions are easy to identify with. But with Neerja Madhavan, I'm not someone who's in charge, who takes charge, who's powerful, who can command people to do stuff in real life. I'm a little... Vipul Shah smiling, yeah, he knows. I'll just be like that. So, but I think with correct guidance and I think even shots, like I remember we were shooting something in the movie and I thought I did a very good shot and I looked at them and they both were like, but it was very good, but there's still a little Adah. You were you. Can you do it again being Neerja? So then performance I think is that, because sometimes as an actor you do and I thought, oh, I did a good job, but so scenes we've really worked on each thing. That's internally and externally, as you can see, we've done a lot. There's a whole thing that's happened to my skin, so it looks like I live in the jungles. And to be tough and strong, we used to, Sudipto Sen made sure I carry real 6 kilo guns so that I don't look like I'm carrying a lightweight thing. So even in scenes where we are just standing, he used to be like, use the heavy one, just so that you know you look big and powerful and you don't look delicate and petite. So.
But you know, while you say this, did you have any inhibitions, even an iota of inhibition to take up this movie, considering that after the Kerala Story, you had received death threats and all of that, right? The whole risk behind it.
No, I think moreover, for me, I'm very sure I want to or I'm very sure I don't want to. So I was very sure I want to be part of it.
Is this one call and
Yeah, actually, Adah got a lot of death threats, life threats, but the amount of love and affection she has got,
I think you
every
can't,
actor in this film industry should envy about her.
Yeah, I think everyone
all been diluted actually.
Yeah, we all earn for validation from the audience. That's all we want when we do a movie, and all that, I think it kind of submerged the little hate that we got from people who didn't watch our film, who with hearsay decided what they thought.
No, and also what happens is that when you expose somebody, what is he going to do? You know, he's going to attack you or she's going to attack you because that's the only way to do it.
It's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only defense mechanism you have. So what do? You say, oh, this is a propaganda film, this is a lie, this is it. Like in Kerala Story, they said, oh, 32,000 number, where does this come from? Now on the 6th of June, we put out a video on YouTube, which is a 17-minute long video, which explains the count of 32,000. We've quoted names, we've taken permission from those people and we put it out. And then when we reached out to the media houses and we said, this is a very important information for the nation to know. It's not about the film. Film is already now 4 weeks old. It's done its business. You need to talk about it. And they called back saying, you know, the other side doesn't want to debate.
Yeah.
So, because there is nothing now left to accuse.
You can say more about it. Yeah.
What will you accuse? Now there is evidence of numbers. Now what will you say?
Yeah.
So, then like for this film, when we released this teaser, we started getting, you know, tweets and everything. Oh, see, another propaganda film has come. And my question is, what is propaganda? If my question is whether 76 Jawans were killed or no.
No, yeah.
They were. Whether JNU celebrated or no, they did. All the points that I told you earlier. Come and debate with me on those points. We are open to debate. We'll talk. We'll give you answers. Prove us wrong. We are more than happy to apologize. But we know what we are saying, everything we have checked and rechecked and only then we put it in the film. So it's like that.
Yeah.
You don't bother after a point.
True. Like in the teaser you mentioned, right, pseudo-intellectuals. I think they are the ones who come back to us with all this false narrative, right? So I want to ask you.
That is what she said. बाद में फांसी पे चढ़ा देगा. So we are fearless.
Yeah, I love that dialogue, by the way. So fearless and like powerful.
Oh, मतलब only she can carry.
Only she can carry it, yeah, for sure.
No pressure, thanks.
You know, I want to ask you, I'm sure the entire movie to shoot it was challenging because jungle mein kiya hua hai, but is there a particular scene, without revealing any spoilers for us, is there a particular scene that has stayed with you and you can tell that ye sabse challenging scene tha shoot karne ke liye and probably for you even for acting ke liye?
बहुत मतलब ऐसा तो बहुत सारे थी. The one where this 76, that wrestling ceremony of 76 Jawans, when we are shooting that, it was a song sequence.
Okay.
almost half of the crew were crying on that the day we were shooting. Everybody was in tears, where the dead bodies are laid. Their mothers are crying, keeping the bodies on the lap. So it was a heart-wrenching situation for us. We all were emotional. Similar, there are a lot of sequences are there because we actually picked up the stories, real stories from Bastar, which are equal. Each one is worse than the other one. So it was difficult shoot emotionally. But as Vipul sir said, that we cried together, we laughed together, we spent time together. So these 2 months of shooting was absolutely joyride for us.
And for you, Adah, any particular scene that you remember was extremely challenging?
I think for this movie, Vipul Shah and Sudipto Sen decided, and when I watch the movie now, I think that's such a good idea. I won't be shown crying. So even if I am crying, it's either internal or I'm wearing sunglasses to hide my tears. And I think it's so cool that the same filmmakers who took me for a movie, like Adah Sharma, I'm crying in almost every scene, like the second I'm crying so much. And we assume that would be my strength. To here, it's the exact opposite. So I think for them to trust me on that was huge. Toughest scene, I don't know. I think jungles though, tough and all. But for me, toughest was in the office, sitting in one chair. There was one monologue. How long would that be? It's 2.5 minutes or something.
2.5 minutes.
It's a 2.5 minute
Not
monologue.
the teaser one.
No,
there's
it's
another
something
one.
else only. I think it overtakes the teaser in terms of
Can't wait.
exposing
Right.
people, and I'm firing somebody and spitting venom for 2.5 minutes. That I think was the toughest for me, and hopefully.
Yeah, because we wanted it in one shot. We did not want
I
to
think that
cut
was
it.
really cool
Like
of
a
them
single
also
shot,
to leave
yeah.
it. For an actor, that's such a high, when you
true.
tell an actor that it'll be in.
That fighting, that bamboo shrub sequence.
Oh God,
where that
I
was
forgot.
almost real.
Oh my God.
That was
Sudipto
almost
sir
real,
decided
sir.
to-
You won't believe it is jungle, so you are not able to communicate with
Yeah.
the guys who are firing towards her.
Yeah.
So it is like incessant firing coming, and she is just hiding in a very small
No,
tree.
he made us come from that place without light. He made us come down one mountain, and I said, but how? And those other guys who are with me, my team who's with me in the movie, they're asking me, पर कैसे जाएंगे नीचे? So I'm saying, Sudipto sir, कैसे जाएंगे नीचे? Adah, you will do it. Okay, so I look at them and they're like, but how? There are big stones.
That's
how
the
do we go?
confidence he
No,
has.
actually, I was also not able to see what beyond that, but I knew that she
will
do
do
it.
it.
But
Because
I
she's in
with,
the front, she's in the front,
There are
her team
20
in the
guys
back.
behind me.
So when Adah is there, I know that she will find out. बाकियों के लिए तो मुझे कोई tension
But there are
नहीं.
20 guys behind me, there are huge stones and there are gaps between. So if your leg goes, it will get twisted. So they are asking me these doubts and they're like, but पैर जाएगा तो क्या करेंगे? I'm like, नहीं, but they're like light ही नहीं है तो कैसे चलेंगे? So I'm asking कैसे? You will do it.
And it is the first,
And
or
he
the
has,
one take okay shot.
And he has no, you made us do it 2-3 times. You said one take okay, then you said closer,
Close,
mid, wide.
that
And
is
he
true.
decided to
Closer.
light fake trees because he won't burn real
Yeah.
trees. He put fake trees to light on fire, which decided to fall like this. And then he said, when you walk, it will not fall. I said, but how? We're coming, it's going to fall.
Yeah.
It will not fall, Adah. How will it fall? You walk. Okay. And we actually trusted his word, I think, and had faith in the.
Did it fall?
No, I'm alive. Others
did
will
not.
all
course you
be.
are.
That did not.
We would all be
No,
charred.
this shoot had lot of life-defining sequences.
Yeah.
You will see new kind of action because it is not a dishum kind of action.
Yeah,
It's a real life action, and we did not allow our action director to move beyond the reality. So it will be very rustic, very real
Very
action
real,
you
yeah,
will be able
yeah.
to see.
You know, when you mention action, the thing that comes into my mind is that आजकल action as a genre is very popular among the audience as well. They like to watch it on big screen. But the same real life action, when mixed with a real story, people don't tend to accept it so much because they start creating a false narrative about it, and फिर cancel culture शुरू हो जाता है. People start banning it and things like that. So I'm not able to understand कि ऐसा क्यों होता है. एक्शन फिक्शन में अच्छा लगता है उनको, बट रियल स्टोरीज में जब आप लोग दिखा रहे हो ऐसे पूरा एज अ रियल स्टोरी, पीपल टेंड टू बैन इट. जैसे केरला स्टोरी में भी थोड़े प्लेसेस में हुआ था. सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन इट?
No, I think people who get scared of the exposure, they are the ones who react in many ways. If they are sitting in the position of power, then they use that power, abuse their power and do it. But actually, I think the audience really wants to see these real stories, and they love the real action, and they will love what we've shot. I mean, more than love, they're going to get shocked with what they're going to see. It's going to be pretty difficult to see. But it's a very important scene that they have to see for them to understand what is going on actually inside Bastar against all the fancy narrative that is which is being created to protect them. So I think that is so important for the story narrative that you can't not have that action in your film.
Yeah, that is so true. You know, Adah, I wanted to ask you, I think one of your earlier interviews, you mentioned that you love singing and dancing so much that you wanted to be an actor, and you're not the quintessential actor, right? जो singing, dancing and romance करता है, आप करते हो, but we identify you more for these kind of roles, right? So do you ever feel that इस industry में आपको ऐसे stereotype किया जा सकता है कि Adah है तो ऐसे type के roles ज़्यादा suit करते हैं? Though you have done हंसी तो फंसी.
But firstly, I am very happy if someone thinks that my character is so powerful that it overshadows my real personality. It makes me thrilled. When I did 1920, people didn't know I was an Indian. They thought I was a foreigner because I had those blue lenses in the hair. And they thought somebody dubbed my voice because मैं ऐसे आवाज में बात कर रही हूँ movie में. So they didn't know it's me. And I thought that was a compliment. I was very happy. And with Kerala Story, people think that, you know, I can speak Hindi only like that in the Malayali accent. So I feel very happy with that. But I also feel very grateful and fortunate. Like, I've done an interview with you just few days back.
Yes, for Sunflower.
Where we are sitting for Sunflower, where I'm a bar dancer. And our interview there, we had to eat tikha chips with tikha. That was our interview. Who can eat? And then after eating really spicy stuff.
And then जब sauces hit करते हैं ना,
then you start talking bad stuff. But they were nice. They didn't put onion garlic in my sauces, and they gave me. And then, so I think I'm very fortunate that I can do that 4 days after and come here and do this. So I think people are intelligent enough to not typecast me. But if you're typecasting me in movies that are going to be super hits, you can typecast me.
For that,
I'm very
you don't mind. You know, after the massive success of the Kerala Story, is there any learning that you've had or that has impacted you and that you've implemented in Bastar? ऐसा कोई learning था आपके लिए?
I mean, only thing which we believed from the very beginning, very inception of our discussion about the film, that is the telling the truth the way it is. So actually we are vindicated that yes, what we adopted, what we decided in Kerala Story, we actually got vindication from the people, and then we carried forward. And we'll keep doing that. And if you call it a new genre in Indian cinema industry, let it be.
Let it be. Yes. Anything for you? Any learning?
The learning was that truth has a lot of power. We sometimes underestimate the power of the truth. We experience the power of the truth where there were so many people trying to crush the truth by saying, oh, propaganda, lie, this, that, everything. And eventually, the film crushed every such negative voice and people accepted the film. Today, it's part of a national debate on this subject. Any debate on this subject is incomplete without the discussion of Kerala Story. So what we realized is that the power of truth is still very, very alive, and the audience in our country is ready to support if they feel that what you have shown is 100% true. Then they are going to back you, they are going to be with you. So we decided that, you know, we must continue our journey with the same belief and with more assurance that people are ready to back the truth. So, I mean, that's the learning and that's the vindication, as he has used that word, of what we believed at the time of Kerala Story.
Yeah. You know, I just have one last question. This is out of curiosity actually. This question मेरे दिमाग में आया था when I saw the Kerala Story also. कि how did this team pair up? क्योंकि she playing a Malayali, which she's done such a great job that even now I know some people still think she's a true Malayali and not Adah Sharma as her own, right? So ये pairing कैसे हुई आपकी? आप तीनों की trio की?
It was not difficult because we all are professionals.
Right.
So when I reached Vipul ji, I did not know him from long time.
Okay.
When I reached to him and I narrated the story, he was emotional. Listening to the first narration, I think he decided to go with this film. He was emotional. He was almost about to, you know, I could see the tears in his eyes, because I don't think anybody will not be impacted by Shalini Unnikrishnan story. That girl is still there in Afghanistan jail. Gitanjali's parents are still waiting for the justice for their daughter.
True.
Nima Matthews still hiding in spite of the fact that she has been raped consecutive 5 days. So I don't think that people, unless you have a vested interest or a political interest, you will not be able to identify with their emotions. So our job was just to be the truthful to those characters. We did not do anything which Shalini was not, Gitanjali was not, excepting the fact that we changed their name.
Names,
So, the moment Vipulji heard this story and he said, let's go ahead and sit across the table for the script. So, we started working together. We put all our understanding, and then Adah came up. Adah is an emotional girl otherwise. She immediately could figure it out. When Adah was talking, you may recall, when she was let speak to her mother from Afghanistan jail. And her mother was in Kerala saying, "Tu maa ban gayi." And I know that everybody knew that Adah was actually crying. It was not glycerin. I did not, my makeup artist did not give her glycerin. So everybody, everybody was emotional, and many of them were in tears when she was actually talking to her mother in that shot. So truth, as Vipulji said, truth is such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. You will explore a new you in that. It's a journey which you will feel so light. And honestly, I'm speaking, I used to get angry when people used to troll us, people used to put abusive languages, and me and Adah often spoke about it that, "Sir, mere paas ye message aaya, aapke paas aaya kya?" So this type of conversation me and Adah used to have. Vipulji is not in social media, so Vipulji is away from that.
Which is a good thing also.
I am very happy.
So it's too cool to like.
No, I am very happy, and I believe that
He can get a good sleep in the night.
I believe filmmakers should always live in isolation, because otherwise all those noises can start affecting you. But you asked a very interesting question, because for Sudipto Dada to think of me as a producer and come to me is itself very weird, right? Because I've never made a film like this.
Exactly.
But he still thought of me. Adah has done Commando, she's done 1920, she's done some Hasi To Fasi, some southern films, but nothing in her career which is even remotely close to Kerala Story.
Absolutely.
So then she comes on board. So it's like three people completely opposite of what it is. But then it becomes like,
There's only one answer to this: divine intervention.
I think,
it is
it's
divine.
destiny.
It is
You
nature.
call it destiny or you call it divine intervention. But I think
I
we were
call it
destined.
the power of truth.
Truth.
When we decided to tell the truth, it has done that conspiracy, put us together.
Yes, so,
And a good conspiracy.
yes,
Absolutely.
very happy with that.
From this conversation, एक तो ये पता चल ही जाता है कि this is going to be more dangerous and more, of course, emotional, yes, but it's going to be more powerful than whatever we've seen till now, right?
हमने कुर्सी की पेटी बांध ली।
Yeah, kursi ki peti बांध लीजिए. So thank you so much, and it's just an urge to everyone that please watch this movie in the theaters. That's
Yes.
so important, right?
Yes,
15th of
absolutely.
March in the theaters. If you could just tell that message to everyone.
I think it's an important film for the nation. It's not about anything else but our own nation. And if we love our nation, then give this film a chance. Go and see it in theatre. And I'm sure it will change something within you for sure. You will not come out the same person after watching the film.
Absolutely. All the very best to the entire team, and I can't wait to watch this in the theaters. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.